Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. David Schwartz says no big secret XRP adoption news hidden in Ripple's 1,700 NDAs. Okay guys, let's get into it. Okay, I've got to do this free flow. This I think is something that XRP holders needed to hear. I really think they needed to hear this, and I'm just so grateful to have someone like David Schwartz, who's also a part of Ripple, because he's the guy who just tells it like it is. You know, he's not going to try and sugarcoat it. He's just going to tell you the cold hard truth. And I think for XRP holders, you should be welcoming this, right? Like, this isn't going to be something that's completely doom and gloom. It's only doom and gloom for the people who've been, you know, caught up in the hype. And don't get me wrong, influencers have played a huge part in this, so don't get me wrong. I'm not here to say that, you know, these people have just kind of jumped on it on their own just accord. Obviously, there's been a lot of information that's been fed to them from influencers who are just making money, pushing hype. And I just want to start to see this die out. Like, you know, I've kind of been covering this for so long, and, you know, there's a few times when David Schwartz has basically addressed a lot of this stuff, and people still push back against it, even though David Schwartz is outright telling you. And he said a few things here verbatim, which I want to go through, and I think this is what all the XRP holders need to see, because I just think it's time to face reality. Like, there's been so much stuff that's happened over time that I've covered on my channel, and I just think you guys need to just see what the reality is of XRP. And it's not that it's bad. It's not that XRP is going to have no future or anything like that. It's just not the future that some of these influencers try to push it out to be. And for me, I've been fighting against this for so long from the beginning of my channel, and I just want to start to see the reality come of this. So I'm going to go through this, guys, and I really think you want to stick around and hear all of this and hear what I've got to say, because this is important, okay? So let's go through some of the things that were said. Basically, David Schwartz was on a podcast and he was just talking about XRP and Ripple. So let's go through what some of the article says. Back in 2025, Ripple's 1,700 NDAs with financial institutions gained attention. Notably, the NDA topic became public knowledge during Ripple's lawsuit with the SEC. Since then, XRP holders have speculated that something hidden around these agreements could boost the XRP price once revealed. However, Schwartz has now put an end to those speculations. He explained that most agreements the company signs include confidentiality clauses simply because partners want to keep their business private. According to him, the idea that these agreements conceal long-running game-changing XRP adoption plans is largely misplaced. Schwartz emphasized that, quote, what you see is what you get, unquote, in most cases, adding that rumors from unofficial channels are typically either false or become public within a short time frame, if any hold truth. He noted that, to his knowledge, there is no long-standing secret initiative involving XRP nor any coordinated government plan tied to the asset. Okay, so let me just stop there for just 1 second. So this is where, as he just said, if there's influencers pushing a lot of this type of stuff, it's typically false. That's David Schwartz telling you right there. And please, guys, don't come and say, oh, you're misquoting him, or you don't get what he's saying, or he's just testing us. He's not, guys. He's telling you verbatim. There's nothing to this. He's just telling you the truth. And this is where it's like, you've just got to accept it. Like, I understand, like, it sounds so great about what XRP can do. I understand it. I get it. But the truth is, it's not the way these influencers are portraying it to be. It's just that simple. It just really isn't. And about the NDAs, let me just tell you something. Here's just a reason as to why, like, a company could sign an NDA, because, you know, a lot of people think, well, these NDAs have got to mean something. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, sometimes there could be something to that, but sometimes it can just be, like he said, businesses just wanting to keep their business secret, basically, their plan secret. And I'll tell you why. For example, let's go with the whole Ripple and SEC lawsuit, right? This technology was brand new at the time, okay? So let's say you've got a company, a massive company. So let's just take Visa, for example. Let's say Ripple approached Visa and said, hey, maybe you want to try doing your transactions and stuff on the XRP ledger. You can see a difference in the cost, the speed and everything like that kind of thing. And they're interested, but they're like, well, it's new technology. We don't really know how, sustainable this is going to be. Does crypto really have a future? We don't really understand it, all that kind of stuff. So maybe they say, okay, we'll do a pilot with you guys and we'll put an NDA on it, right? The whole reason why they could put an NDA on it is because what if crypto does fail? What if, like what actually happened, Ripple end up in a lawsuit with the SEC? Well, that's where they're going to be like, oh, well, like, luckily for us, our name's not attached to Ripple because we've got the NDA, so it's not something that's public knowledge. It's that kind of thing. So it doesn't have to be because, like, there's this huge secret thing going on. It could just be like, hey, we're testing this stuff, but we don't know if we're going to use it in the long term. So we don't want to put our name down as we're using this stuff, because if anything goes wrong, it might make our company look bad. Like, we could start facing backlash and that kind of thing. So this is where it could mess up our reputation. So it could be as simple as that. That could be a simple reason why a company would sign an NDA. It doesn't have to mean that there's like this secret conspiracy going on where there's going to be this massive adoption coming. It really can be a real simple solution, a real simple answer to it. So let me just carry on from here. So no hidden catalyst driving XRP. The former CTO also warned investors against relying on conspiracy narratives when making decisions about XRP. He stated that anyone basing expectations on the belief that a major secret event will suddenly boost XRP is likely misleading themselves. And there you've got it, guys, the cold hard truth. And look, I take no joy in this, right? Like, when I've been doing this for so long, you wouldn't believe some of the backlash I've faced for just trying to tell people, like, you've got to try and accept what the reality is. But you're misleading yourselves because you want to believe the hype. And it's one of these things where, because you want to believe it so bad, you'll defend it. You will just defend it to the death. And I'll be honest with you, I think there'll still be people who will still believe what David Schwartz is saying is wrong. They'll still believe that he's just basically still trying to, throw you guys off, and that, like, he's speaking in riddles, and that, secretly he's still saying it's going to happen, or he said a word a bit differently and there's something in that word where it changes what he said, like that. There's still going to be people who, like, are taking stuff from this and not just accepting the truth. But he said it right here. People who are trying to believe that there's going to be this sudden change, this huge thing that's going to change XRP's price, are misleading themselves. They're likely misleading themselves. And this is where it goes for all these influencers. I'm not even going to need to name names. You know the names. You know the influencers who talk about XRP going to high numbers. I've called out many of them in the past. You can go on my channel. You can check them out. All these influencers who say about this way it's all going to change and XRP's price is going to go high. They're talking nonsense. They're talking absolute nonsense. They are. And it's just that simple. And I've been trying to tell you guys this for the longest time. And you can look at my channel and see how small it is. It's not really gotten me very far, but it's the truth. The truth is not as entertaining as the fairy tale. The fairy tale is what exciting. It's you know what I mean? That's what draws people in. But I've been trying to tell you guys, look guys, I've done enough research to know that this stuff ain't realistic. It just isn't. And so he's put it out here now as clear as day. You can't get any clearer than that. And I really respect David Schwartz for doing this. I really do. Okay, let's just carry on. While acknowledging that he has visibility into development at Ripple and within parts of the XRP ecosystem, including the XRPR Foundation, Schwartz added that he does not have insight into every external entity. Still, he maintained that there is no evidence of a hidden multi-year plan waiting in the background. Follow-up post reinforces message. Following the podcast, Schwartz doubled down on his stance in a post on X amid arising questions from the community members. He clarified that while, quote, lots of secrets, unquote, do exist due to NDAs, they should not be confused with sweeping theories circulating online. Schwartz stressed that claims suggesting something massive is about to happen or that governments are preparing a major XRP-related move are, quote, almost always completely false, unquote. He added that investing time, money, or emotional energy based on such narratives is misguided. What more can I say, guys? What more can I say? For the 3 years that I've been doing this channel and I've been trying to tell you this is what I've been trying to tell you. All these hype influencers are talking rubbish, and the reason why they'll keep doing it, even now they'll keep doing it, and they'll just tell you that, yeah, David Schwartz has got to be quiet, he can't tell you guys the truth. They'll tell you whatever because they need to keep the money going. You've got to understand that YouTube is a very lucrative career if you can get to that level. Like, I get paid for my content. It's very small because obviously I'm a small channel, but I can see that, like, looking at what I get from my views, if I was getting the views of, let's say, some of the other influencers who are way bigger than me and looking at what they get, I can see what kind of money I could earn. And you can make a career off of YouTube. So you've got to understand, these people, they're not going to just start telling the truth. This is what's making them money. This is what they're living off of. This is their livelihood. So they're going to continue to push this, and they're going to keep making these excuses and keep trying to change the way they say things and manipulate what's being said to try and keep their stuff going. And I just don't like it. I've never liked it from the beginning of my channel. I've never been trying to go with like the $10,000 stuff. I've been trying to fight back against it from the very beginning of my channel. It's why I created the channel. And this is why I'm getting so like passionate about this, because it's just vindicating to see this. It's nice to see someone here now telling you guys, this isn't right. You shouldn't be following conspiracy theories. It's not accurate. And it's true. It's absolutely true. So all I'm hoping now is that people will just start to open up to this more. And I have seen bits and bobs. Like, I've covered numerous influencers in my time. You can look at my channel. You can see that as things have progressed like over time, people are starting to really wake up now and be a bit more like, yeah, okay, this stuff isn't as realistic as I once thought, and you know, I'm not really believing this influencer anymore and that kind of stuff. It's starting to, you know, really sink in, but I think it just needs to be done. Like, that's just my opinion and my perspective, because it's gone on for long enough. These guys have had a nice free ride. They've definitely made a lot of money off of the back of all this hype nonsense that they've pushed, but it's time to move on. It's just time to move on. And so my hat goes off to David Schwartz. I really respect the fact that he's willing to do this, because this doesn't make him popular. I know, like, I do it on my channel, and I see when you talk about this kind of stuff and it's not what people want to hear. And it's not that David Schwartz has told these guys this stuff. It's all these influencers. So it's the influencers who you should be mad at, but then they get mad at David Schwartz and Ripple saying like, oh, they've lied to us. And it's like, they've not said any of this stuff. A lot of the things that you've been watching is all these hype influencers giving you conspiracy theories, just talking absolute rubbish. Those are the guys who you should be mad at. You know, like, David's just trying to tell you the truth, and he's done this numerous times. I've got a few things, a few videos that I've covered of David Schwartz where he's basically been telling you like, yeah, what people are saying about XRP isn't realistic. He's done this a few times. So I respect that. And I just want to say this doesn't mean that it's the end for XRP, and it doesn't mean that XRP is not a good asset. It just means that this $10,000 stuff ain't happening. That's all this means. It doesn't mean that XRP can't still get to $10, $20, $50, $100. Those type of numbers are realistic. Now, not saying that that will happen, because I don't know, but I'm saying that those things could happen. There's a basis for those things to happen. But the whole conspiracy around all these banks suddenly, you know, flipping the switch and using XRP, all of that is garbage. It's nonsense. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm saying to you guys. You don't want to listen to that, because that's the kind of stuff that's being pushed and people have been following, and it's just inaccurate. It's just inaccurate. That's just what it is. So I had to cover this, guys, because as you know, I've always been a channel where I've always tried to push the you know, the reality of stuff. This doesn't mean for me that I'm unhappy about XRP or anything like that, because to be honest with you, what he said to me is just everything I've already believed. It doesn't mean that XRP is bad, not at all. It just means that this garbage stuff that people are pushing, just that stuff ain't going to happen, and I've known that for years. So this doesn't change anything for me. I'm just finding it refreshing to see David Schwartz really trying to make it clear to the community that you shouldn't be following these influencers. That's what he's done. He's basically took a stand against all these hype influencers and saying, yeah, a lot of this stuff that they're pushing out there, it's not accurate. It's really not. And if people are believing that stuff, you're misleading yourselves. He's telling you that. He's like, don't invest in XRP based on this information. It's not accurate. It's just not. So he's telling you this. So look, I'll leave it there, guys, but I really hope this is something that really does sink in for people, because believe it or not, I actually just want people to not lose money. I don't want people to be here invested in XRP based on the fact that they think it's going to get to $10,000, because that's where you're going to make bad investment decisions, right? Because, for example, you might have, let's say, just 10,000 XRP, just for example, but you might not be willing to sell it because you say, I'm not selling it until it gets to $10,000. How many bull markets could you miss during that point waiting for that $10,000 to come, when you could have took money out and made profit? Or you say, okay, well, if XRP is going to get to $10,000, I only need 1,000 XRP and I'll be fine. And then you only buy 1,000 XRP, whereas if you was more realistic with your expectations, you might have dollar cost averaged into XRP, and you might have brought 10,000 XRP or 20,000 XRP, etc., etc. You might have got more because you're more realistic about what it could reach, and so you're not thinking, okay, I'll just get 1,000 XRP and now I'm set for life. And then, you know, 5-10 years down the line, that doesn't happen. Now, yes, you've made some profit on XRP because it is up, but it's not up the $10,000 that you expected. And now your whole plans of you thinking you're going to be a multi-millionaire and stuff like that, they're gone. Dashed. Do you see what I mean? Like crypto, the way this is happening, this is still the early stages. But if you're going on hype, this could ruin your whole opportunity to make money. Because if you're thinking, okay, it's going to make this much money and you believe in the hype stuff, you might invest completely wrong. And then that's it. Once these prices have gone up, you're priced out. You can't just come back and say, okay, I'm going to invest again now. Like, that's it. Time's up. You've missed the boat. So what I'm just trying to show you guys is, if you really want to take advantage of this situation, the time is now, but you've really got to do your research to understand what you're investing in and know what the realistic potentials are. So I hope this has helped, and I just want to say respect to David Schwartz, because this is definitely something that I think people needed to hear. I think it's great that he's doing this, and I hope this can really put to bed some of these hype influencers, because it's just not good. It's just not good at all. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching this, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe if you do like this content, so you can be updated for future videos and XRP content. And don't forget to hit the notification bell as well, so you'll be updated when I do drop the new videos. Thank you very much for watching this, and I'll see you all on the next one.